we're allowing nature to be more involved in the build of whatever we build, and we try to incorporate as much of real nature into the art and the buildings that we create. And the dome homes, they seem like almost like the solar solution to electricity, but for building homes that are cheap and affordable. And we just have people that are able to do that, and they get their $1,000 a month. The Andrew Yang, and I'm sure other politicians have had the same idea, and I love that idea. Every adult, in America at least, and we should make it the whole world, but every adult gets $1,000 a month. And then if you want to make more money and you have a better life, then you work, but you do a job you want to do, a job that you're good at, because we won't be competing against each other. We'll be working together. We'll be creating just an amazing new thriving world where just the fact that we're all working together for the same common goal of improving the health of our planet and each individual on this planet, I'm telling you, that will make the biggest change this planet's ever seen. It'll happen quickly. Greta Thunberg will be thanking me in person one of these days for having the answer and having the solution, and all the details eventually, I swear, they're going to be on aliveagain420.com inside the good dimension of my website. All three dimensions to kick things off are all located behind the pot cave. You enter the pot cave, which is on the homepage of aliveagain420.com. And for now, the only story on there is going to be in the ugly dimension, and that's my sad, tragic tale of truth and horror known as Decade of Destruction. The full title, Decade of Destruction, 12 years of demise, 15 years of misery, and a lot of my videos here on my YouTube channel support that story and are just kind of add details to what's happened to me over the last 15 years. And I just want to share my story with the world, and I would appreciate it if you subscribe to not only my YouTube channel, but also my YouTube channel. And as a matter of fact, I'm a special offer I'm making to the first 100 subscribers to subscribe to both my channels and send me an email to stayhigh@aliveagain420.com. But the first 100 people to do that, as long as you're an adult and you're a legal resident of the United States of America, well, you get a $20 gift card anywhere you want in the world, any legal place. So you want a restaurant gift card, a retail gift card, an online shopping gift card, whatever you want. It's going to be yours, sent to you certified mail. It's a guarantee from me, Greenweaver, to you. The first 100 subscribers to both my channels, and you have to send me the email, and then I'll use that email once I give away the gift cards. And I have to hit 1,000 subscribers on both YouTube and, more importantly, on YouTube for the prize to be given out. So just keep that in mind. Be one of the first 100, and you know what? You're going to get a $20 gift card to wherever you want, a dispensary, a restaurant, any kind of store. I'm ready to do it, my friends. I'm ready to help change the world and spread the word of weed being a good thing, a magical medicine, and the power of pot positivity and all the other stuff I often say as I wrap things up for you here on Alive Again 420. Thanks for hanging out with me. I went a little too long, so this is going to be like a little short bonus episode, which, like I said, I don't do any editing, I don't do any scripting. So this episode is just going to start like wherever the hell it started, and then it's just going to end in my usual peace, love, happiness, and happiness way. And again, I like to keep saying it. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Become an anti-racist. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Check out a song called Safe Street or Safe Streets by the Adrian West Band. That's an amazing song. And Adrian, California boy, at least for the last decade or two. I don't know where he's from originally. But an amazing musician, some amazing songs with a big variety. From some really folky, Dylan-esque Simon & Meets Garfunkel jive, to, some funky-ass, Beck sound and rock and roll, funk, pop, and like that song, Safe Streets, is a great example of something that could be a #1 hit. Go check it out. And you know what? One of these days I'm going to feature that song on one of my videos. As a matter of fact, I already have. On the many videos I've made over the last 1 year as I archive and share my entire journey as a cannabis consumer, as a pot smoker, which, by the way, first time for me, and I say this all the time, and what's the truth? I bought my first bong, I think, in October of the year 2018, and First time I lit it up was September. The 21st night of September. Do you remember? Of course I do. I was there. I was the only one there, and it's like I unfortunately didn't videotape that night. You know, it's like I hadn't realized that I have a lot of stuff to say when I'm high and even when I'm not high. And right now, I might be starting to get a little high, thanks to the the smashed edibles that are in my body. Oh, my friend Wade did go get me some food. I'm going to thank him. All right, Wade, thank you.
What do you got to say, Wade?
Do you remember the 21st night of September? Do you remember the 21st night of September? Okay. I think I got some thaw. Thaw out, baby. Thaw out. I got some thaw. And the thaw is going to go in my belly. I say thaw out as the thaw goes in my big old belly. On a Live Again 420. Yeah, okay. What am I up to? What do I want to do? I want to, number one, I want to see what this is. This is, I think, the soup portion. I've never had pho in my life before, ever. Okay. A little jalapeno. Okay, the soup part is good, even by itself, but I think you're supposed to dip. Well, I don't know if you're supposed to be dipping the vegetables. Oh, there's noodles.
You do the honors.
Reinvention Radio on WSRadio.com. Steve Olsher. It's Reinvention Radio. Yeah. Wade, I had a question for you. Now, is this what you got? Is this pho? Is this pho that I'm about to eat? And that's a Filipino-based.
Vietnamese.
Oh, that's Vietnamese. Okay. And my real question is, the soup. Am I kind of supposed to pour everything, or parts of all the other things into that soup, and let it marinate, and then eat it that way, or am I supposed to eat them separately, or I could do either?
I poured the broth into there, assuming that you want everything that's in there.
Well, I do want everything
Right.
that's in there.
And then I gave you my red peppers and
some the jalapeno.
jalapenos because I don't want them.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you.
And so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't try it.
Okay. Well, no, just that fit into that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am supposed to. This is Vietnamese. Good morning, Vietnam. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Rest in peace, every life lost in that horrible war that should have never happened in the first place. And now this almost, in the long run, might end up being worse than the Vietnam War. This COVID-19 crisis, this worldwide nightmare, especially made horrible in the United States of America by some really bad decisions being made and improper words being spread. And it's like, I remember my friend and I, Julie and Alex, and we were talking about, from the start, and Julie wasn't living here anymore by the time COVID-19 hit. She had moved back to Sacramento because of, not COVID-19 related at all, but just because of the eviction, the unfair, illegal, life-ruining eviction, and all the other things that were even worse than the eviction that actually did ruin my life in every way imaginable. Am I making a mess? Wow. It's good stuff. It's a very earthy vibe. I'm over the vegetarian option. Because I'm trying to go vegan. And in the next 1 year, I think I will be 100% vegan in every way imaginable. Which means, absolutely, that the future woman in my life is going to have to be that way as well. My brother Zane, I'm not going to make him be that way. But I am going to try to get him to learn how to enjoy hot dogs, plant-based protein hot dogs. In fact, excuse my language, but maybe I'll love those myself. Because I've never enjoyed hot dogs. Because I've always known how gross they are. And what they're really made out of. The parts that they use are just disgusting. But see, with a plant-based protein, they're not using the disgusting parts of the plant to make this. They're using the best parts of the plant, and the best flavors imaginable, and the best spicings, and the healthiest non-GMO, gluten-free, organic, based, even maybe some superfood jive thrown in. Just where you're actually taking good care of your body, and your mind will thank you for it, and then your mind will heal even more, and then the whole country will become healthier and healthier. If we start treating ourselves well, and we start being healthy, we'll all become healthier, and that will only encourage everybody to want to be healthy, for real. And then we've solved the problem, like a bazillion problems. Because I tell you what, America's way too fat, and I fell into that trap over the last 15 years, mainly thanks to my damn injury. I gained, it wasn't exactly 150 pounds, but it was really close. I think it was 148 pounds, or was it 158? I don't remember. It's like I'd have to do the math. I know I was down to 212 pounds, and I know that I hit 386. Let me do the math right now. Fuck, my mind is actually thinking clearly. 386 minus 212. Wow, that's 179. But I didn't lose 179 pounds in a row. It's like, because my 386, that was just a fluke. That was a fluke. that lasted for about 2 or 3 months, and then I dropped it back down to about 360 ish, close to 360, which is way better than 386. It was like more than 25 pounds, and I stayed that at 360 for a long time, for more than a year. And then I finally decided I was going to go. I just wasn't losing any more weight, not able to exercise because of my injury, and I'm trying to eat as healthily as possible, but I'm eating just a bunch of dollar foods and items from, fast food menus. And I'm getting the bean and cheese burrito from Taco Bell with the orange hot sauce. I'm getting like 3 or 4 of those. I'm getting a bean tostada. So here I am. I'm not eating meat, but all those, the tostada being fried, for the sake of being crispy and crunchy. A lot of bullshit calories there, and then the beans are probably fried. I mean, this Mexican food, this refried beans, man, in the burrito and on the tostada, and a little lettuce and some tomatoes, and then there's some cheese, and of course the cheese isn't vegan. So I'm sure it's 100%, and they're probably not from cows that are treated well. Because I'm sure that's the last thing that people at Yum Foods or Taco Bell or any kind of those restaurants, and I'm not going to pick on any in particular, so my apologies to Taco Bell for making you sound like you're the problem, when actually you have the most amazing hot sauce in the history of the world, just your regular orange hot sauce. And I'll always be a fan of your bean and cheese burritos, but I miss the green sauce, and I always have to have extra onions on mine, and sometimes you make them well, and sometimes your restaurants make them terribly, and that's just, just a weird thing that I've noticed over the last 5-6 years. Wow. Man, I'm munching down like a crazy maniac. I don't know how healthy this would be considered as a meal. It's got some noodles in it, but then again, I think a lot of these are plant-based, like sprouts. Oh no, here are the noodles. I'm so stoned now that everything just is kind of like, and it's not a good high or a bad high. It's not even really a high. It's just kind of like a dopey stoniness. I'm trying to put myself in a good frame of mind, and eating this is helping. And hanging out with you and talking about my life is helping. So I want to thank you, my friend. It's like, really, without you, it's like I would be such an idiot just to be sitting here talking to myself. I'm not talking to myself. I'm actually talking to you, and I know you're there right now, listening to me. And that's what a cool freaking concept. I think that's just an amazing freaking cool concept. And I can just snap my fingers 3 times and suddenly I'll be on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Even though I need a beard trim, which I'm willing to have Guillermo do if he wants. I need a haircut. I need a beard trim. He needs a haircut. He needs a beard trim. And Guillermo, are you ready? We'll both be tested for COVID-19, of course. But I'm ready. I'm ready to have my beard trimmed on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Because I believe in the power of peace, baby. Peace, love, happiness, and happiness. Greenweaver saying, stay high, stay cool, stay kind, stay woke. Black Lives Matter ain't no joke. Become an anti-racist. And that darn fan is keeping me nice and cool. Because I'm hot-blooded, baby. Plus, I still need to lose about at least another 60 pounds. Maybe another 70 or 80 even, but 60 more pounds, and I know, man, I'll be back to my college weight. And I was in awesome shape in college. As a matter of fact, I almost, not quite, but, about 20% away from having like Tom Cruise's body, like in Top Gun. That kind of, I was about the same height as Tom Cruise. I'm 5'8", and I'm probably 5'7" and a half now. Maybe I'm 5'7". Over the last 10, 15 years, I think I've shrunk an inch. Literally. And that's how badly I've been broken. Bad knee. It's like I can barely walk. My kidneys, I think, are totally shot. And I don't want to think about all this bad stuff because it really is really depressing for me. If you want to read the details, head to my website, aliveagain420.com. Click on the pot cave. Once you click on the pot cave and you've entered the pot cave, you can then find 3 doorways. A doorway to a good dimension, a doorway to a bad dimension. And last but certainly not least, because it'll be the only door that'll actually open, that'll be operational, will be the 3rd doorway, the doorway known as the doorway to the ugly dimension. And that's where you'll find my story entitled Decade of Destruction. 12 years of demise, 15 years of misery. It's a long title, but it's a long, arduous tale of horrible, horrible, terrible things that happened to me and my family over and over and over, year after year after year, repeatedly. And then me asking, please take care of this thing, repeatedly, over and over and over. And thank God Julia's witness to many of those, and she was even involved in a couple of those. So, and I still want, and I say this and I've said this before, I'm willing to take a lie detector test, but I want Jim and actually everyone involved to take lie detector tests. If Jim wants to say, oh, he never asked to have the rebar spike removed, he's lying. I just want to see how he does on that lie detector test. Because I asked him 3 times. I asked 3 times to him and one additional time to Joe and an additional time to Bill. A total of 5 asks to please remove a rebar spike over the course of about an 8-year period. And eventually one time I ended up scraping my right bare foot on the rebar spike, about the size of my pinky, sticking up about that far out of the ground, and about that big, and about this far away from a dividing wall between my place and the neighbors next door. And that's the landline lot marker, where those rebar spikes. And their attorney tells me in the only letter, the only correspondence she actually ever sent to me, that it's illegal for their company to ever remove those. According to state law, they have to remain there, and that's why it was never removed. Well, you know what? When she told me that, the thing had already been removed by the company, and she didn't even know that the company had actually removed it. And whether they know it or not, if they didn't finally ask to have it removed, I think it no longer being there occurred whenever the last time the streets of that manufactured home park were resurfaced. Every about 5 years or so, maybe every 5 or 6 years, they resurface the entire 55 to 60 home, manufactured home park. In the streets, there's like 4 or 5 different streets in that park, all connected, and a very comfortable, very safe, really secure, nice, quiet little park. Not big at all. And a family park. It's just, I wish it were more of a senior park, honestly, but, kids don't bug me. It's just we have a lot of noisy neighbor kids, and I never complain about that stuff. And I never made noise as a neighbor. And, once in a while our 3 dogs would bark, but it would only be because other neighbors' dogs were barking first and for a long time. So other neighbors weren't taking care of their dogs and controlling the situation. But I didn't even complain about that. I didn't complain about anything. I was just trying to get all my problems fixed and solved, and repeatedly coming to them, please get rid of this rebar spike. Okay, now I've stubbed my toe on it. That was the third time that I asked, and two of my friends were with me right when Jim walked by, right when I pointed at the spike again, right after he apologized a third time profusely, because he remembered that I had asked him twice, because I had just asked him the prior time, like maybe 2 months earlier, and he still hadn't done anything. And it's like, I'm going, and it's like the only reason I asked him is because, number one, he was walking by right when I was out front, which was not very common, and I had my two friends with me, and something I totally forgot about. So I'm glad I have those witnesses, and they're longtime friends. These two gentlemen I've known since almost the year 2000. I think I met one of them in the year 2001, and the other one in the year early 2003. Then I'm sure they'd be happy to testify on my behalf, especially when they know exactly what's happened to me. Because both of them were like just stunned after I told that manager the third time. And I let my friends know that it was the third time. And I said, oh, just so you know, blah, and blah, I don't want to say their names. Well, I'll just say their names. Mike and Gregory. But I said, hang on a second, I'm so hungry. I really do need to wrap this up because I'm just rambling and rambling. I have a lot to say, a lot of important things to say, a lot of important things to share, but I still need to get my YouTube channel fixed. It's not letting me upload videos. It said 24 hours, I had to wait 24 hours before I could do it again, and I said, okay, but now it's been 4 days, and it still says the same thing, and I rebooted my phone a bunch of times because I'm doing this on a smartphone. So I want to go log in on a computer here in this building and see if it tells me the same thing. It'd be interesting. I'll just go log in, a fresh new login, using my username. Which of course is Alive Again 420. Good to see you, my friends. It's always good to see you. It's always good to be hanging out with you, and I'm glad you're part of the journey. As a matter of fact, let's listen to some Journey now. La 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 la. See, I'm singing it terribly. That way they can't take this video down. Because I annihilated it so badly that I did not break any copyright infringement. Not even close. As a matter of fact, I created a whole new dimension of insanity as I continue enjoying this Vietnamese soup. This pho. This pho is pretty far out, baby, as I was saying way back in probably some other episode of Alive Again 420, which comes your way on YouTube. In the near future, I hope to be on the WeTube. Thanks for hanging out with me. I might try to actually go to next door to the weed smoking studios of WS Radio, located on Mirawanamar Road, baby. That's where we are, WS Radio on Mirawanamar Road in San Diego, California. Sunny and lit San Diego. 1 block away, literally 1 block away, is a Mankind cooperative location. And I think they only have 2 or 3 in the whole world. It's a small, legal, family-owned dispensary that's been around for, a lot longer than a lot of other places because they were a medical dispensary, for, the past 10 years or so, probably. I don't know when they started. But, if you had a card, a medical card, you could go there and get marijuana. And it wasn't open, and it wasn't known about by anyone except, patients, so it was never advertised, and I don't think it was ever advertised, like, even in the Reader or things like that. It's just, it's like the doctor let you know, and there was just a few of them in San Diego that were available, and they happened to be one of them. And this is going back, like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, at least. Maybe they haven't been around, as a legal medicine only or medicinal only outlet for 8 or 9 years. Probably not that long. I don't even remember when pot was made medically legal, in California. I think that was a long time ago. And I think we were one of the first states to actually allow medical marijuana. Not one of the first to allow it recreationally, but also in a weird way, kind of one of the first to allow it recreationally, because I don't think there's still less than 10 states in the whole United States of America where marijuana is legal recreationally, I think. And maybe my number's off by a little, but something tells me there's probably less than 10 states where you can buy marijuana, without a card, just because it's legal. You're an adult, and you went to a legal dispensary, and you want to buy some medicinal marijuana as a recreational enjoyment tool. Well, you know what? No problem. You're an adult. You just checked your ID. You're cool. And you know not to drive under the influence, and you're being responsible. And you even have a medical card, even though you don't need one. And that was my case. I actually, I waited like close to 6 months before I consumed cannabis after it turned legal, in the state of California. And a total of almost 9 months before I actually officially started smoking it. I had a couple hits on joints here and there, like about 6 months prior to me actually finally buying my first bong and smoking my first bong, which was September 21st of the year 2018. And on purpose. Which is why I was so bummed that I didn't tape that episode. But it was just me finally